The film starts and we are shown the devastated condition of the Earth, where the Earth's environment has been severely damaged due to excessive global warming and population growth. In such a situation, rich people decide to move to another planet away from Earth where they can live in a safe environment. Now it would take many years to find such a planet, so for now, a company builds a space station and sends it into space. The station was named Elysium, which is so big that it can accommodate thousands of people and has all kinds of facilities. But only rich people can live in this station because living here is quite expensive and poor people can only dream of living here. Another special thing about this space station is that the technology here is very advanced, especially in the medical field. Such machines have been developed with the help of which a person can cure any of his diseases, even cancer, and increase his lifespan. After that, we are shown the scene of Earth where only poor people have survived and are forced to spend their lives somehow in this devastated environment. In the meanwhile, we are shown a little boy, Max. Max is an orphan who has no one of his own in this world. Like the other children, he wants to go to Elysium and wants to spend his life there. One day a girl named Frey comes at their orphanage, with whom Max becomes very attached. He begins to like her. Max tells her that one day I will take you with me to Elysium and that is my promise to you. Now to fulfill this dream, Max starts stealing. Then one day Sister explains to Max that in order to do something good for ourselves, we should not do bad things to others. We can never be happy like this. You just have to believe in yourself. You must also have some purpose which you will understand one day. Well, time passes and Max is now grown up. He has also stopped stealing and now works for an AI company. One day, as he goes to catch the bus to work, two robot officers start checking his bag because their data contained Max's criminal record, but Max refuses to let them check, upon which the officers break his hand. Then Max goes to the hospital for treatment where the condition of the hospital has become very bad, because they didn't have any proper equipments. Then Max sees a girl who is none other than Frey, the same girl that Max had a crush on as a child. Max recognizes her and very happy to see her. Then she tells that she works as a nurse here and her life is also going through a lot of difficulties. Before Max can talk to her, then before he leaves, Max meets her again and asks her for a date, but Frey forbids him by saying that she is busy in some work. The scene shifts to Carl, who is the CEO of Elysium. We are shown that Carl is worried because Elysium's investors are decreasing day by day, and the company is going to loss, due to which they have to think of a new strategy soon. Now in the next scene we are shown a hacker named Spider, whose team is illegally sending people to Elysium. Before going there, everyone gets a tag on their wrist, which is a sign of being a citizen of Elysium. Now this work is very risky and many times people have lost their lives in it, but still these people risk their lives, and mostly these are people who have a life-threatening disease or lifelong illness. That is why they want to go to Elysium, so that they can cure their disease with the help of the technology there. These guys hack into Elysium's system and access the entry code and send the 3 crafts from here. But Elysium's defense team finds out about it, and Defense Secretary Jessica warns them to back off, but Spider's people don't listen to her and keep moving forward. So Jessica orders one of her security agent Kruger to destroy the all 3 spacecrafts. Jessica's agent Kruger happens to be on Earth and attacks the 3 craft with his high-tech missile launcher. Shortly thereafter, 2 of Spider's craft are destroyed, killing everyone on board. But one of the craft protects itself and they land in Elysium's environment. Its passengers rush out and try to break into any house, but then robotic guards come and arrest them there. But one lady manages to take her daughter inside a house, and she lays her daughter on this high-tech machine. The machine senses it and turns on, and the machine first scans her hand ID, which was hacked by Spider and put on all of their hands. As soon as she is scanned, the machine starts treating her and in no time the girl is completely cured. Seeing this, both of them are very happy, but then they are also arrested. Everyone is then sent back to Earth. The scene shifts to Max and we learn that he works in the radiation department. Even today, when he is doing his work, the door of a radiation chamber was damaged there. Max calls his boss and informs him about it because these radiation can be very dangerous for anyone. Max's boss asks him to fix this door. Now Max had no idea why the door was jammed, but he can't refuse to do this, so he goes inside and starts checking. Then he sees a metal plate stuck in the door. As Max pulls it out, the door suddenly fixed and get locked, and the radiations inside are turned on. The radiations pass through Max's body. When his boss sees this, he immediately turns off the radiation and takes Max out with the help of a robot. But it was too late and Max's body had absorbed too much radiation. That is why he is told that he will die in the next 5 days due to the reaction of these radiations. Here Carl, the CEO of Elysium, also gets to know about all this. But he didn't care about this. Max is given some advanced medicine to keep him from suffering until he dies. The scene goes to Elysium's President Patel, where during a meeting he was angry at Jessica for not performing her job properly. Due to her wrong decision, many innocent people lost their lives. She also orders the dismissal of Kruger as there were cases of illegal activities on Kruger. When Kruger finds out about this, he is very angry. Meanwhile, Max goes to his friend Julio for help and tells him everything about how the radiation will kill him in 5 days. Now his last option to survive is Elysium because there his life can be saved, but he doesn't have the ticket money to go to Elysium, so he can only get there with the help of Spider. Now Julio takes Max to Spider where he talks about his ID, but Spider doesn't give him the ID, which makes Max angry. Then Spider's men point guns at him. Max reminds him saying that how I used to work for you a few years ago and how much I helped you. To which Spider agrees to give him the ID, but in return he makes a deal with him. In the deal, he asks Max to copy the data from Carl's brain into his own brain. Through this, Spider wants to steal Carl's bank account. Now Max had to undergo some operations for this. Now because Max was going to die in a few days anyway, so he agrees. On the other hand, Jessica meets Carl and finds out that Carl's company is going bankrupt, so Jessica offers him to provide security to the Elysium project for 200 years in exchange for Carl to reboot the Elysium system, and Jessica has to be the president here. Carl could do this easily and his company was in dire need of money, so that's why he accepts Jessica's offer. He then generates a sequence to reboot Elysium's protocol, but Carl was also afraid of this data being copied, so he uploads this data in his brain, and he also programs it so that if anyone tries to tamper with the data, the program will kill to Carl. Meanwhile, one of Spider's agents gives Max an Elysium's ID and implants a memory device into his brain. They also install an exoskeleton in Max's body, which is directly connected to his nervous system, with the help of which Max will become quite strong. Sometime after the surgery, Max regains consciousness and is shocked to find himself in a robotic exoskeleton. Then Max, Julio and Spider's 2 men set out to hijack Carl. Now Carl is also going to take this data to Elysium where Jessica is waiting for Carl. As Carl takes off from his shuttle, Max launches an explosion attack at his shuttle. Then, as they activate it, Carl's shuttle's engine fails and he begins to fall, after which these people follow his shuttle. Jessica also finds out about this, after which she calls Kruger again and sends him to Carl. Meanwhile, Carl's shuttle crashes at a location where Max and his companions immediately arrive. After that, the robots come out of the shuttle and start firing at them. Max easily kills one of the robots. Then another robot also comes there, but now Max's bullets are finished. That's why he has to have a physical fight with the robots, in which Max blows off the robot's head. Carl was also injured in this fight. Then Sandrom connects Carl's mind to Max's and starts copying his data. This process completes, but Sandrom cannot read the encrypted data. Then Kruger also reaches there with his 2 people. Seeing this, everyone starts running away. Then Kruger sees Syndrome and blows him away with high-tech explosion. At this point Max's brain is syncing with this data so he can't do anything and Julio helps him escape. The 2 then try to escape in a car, but Kruger blows up their car with an explosion, in which both get injured. Kruger then jumps down and stabs Max with a knife. Seeing all this, Spider also gets quite worried. Kruger is about to kill Max with his sword, then Julio tries to shoot Kruger, but Kruger kills Julio there. Seeing all this, Max angrily fires at Kruger and injures him, but now his partner Julio is dead, so Max runs away. Meanwhile, Jessica orders Kruger to capture Max at any cost and warns him not to damage his brain. On the other hand, Carl has now died. Max's condition worsened from his injuries and Kruger was also searching for him. Max then hides under a car so Kruger can't scan him there and goes the other way, but now Kruger also knows that Max's brain holds the key to Elysium's protocols. That's why he leaves some of his drones behind Max. Jessica, on the other hand, shuts down every single flight to Elysium. Then Spider realizes that Max has very important data in his brain. There Max somehow gets to Frey and asks for help. Frey gets worried seeing him injured and takes him to her house, where Frey bandages his wounds. Then she notices a tattoo on Max's body and realizes that he still loves her. Upon regaining consciousness, Max tells Frey everything. Then he sees her daughter Matilda and is shocked. Max had thought that Frey was not married. He then starts to leave, then Frey tells him that Matilda has blood cancer, so she wants to take her to Elysium, and she wants his help in that, but Max forbids it because he's already in big trouble. But when Max starts to leave, Matilda comes to him and talks very lovingly. As Max then exits, Kruger's drone scans him, after which Max destroys the drone. But now Kruger has found out his location. He immediately reaches Frey's house, but now Max wasn't there, so he asks Frey about him. But Frey didn't even know where Max was, after which Kruger took Frey and her daughter with him. There Max goes to Spider and starts getting angry at him because he wants to go to Elysium quickly. Then Spider explains that Elysium people has closed the fly zone, that's why he can't do anything. But perhaps the data in his mind may hold the key. That is why the Spider checks this data. Spider is shocked to see this data and tells Max that it contains the program to reboot Elysium. Anyone with this data can take control of Elysium. Now Spider tells Max that with his help we can save the whole world. But Max was going to die soon from the radiation, so he wanted to heal himself first, and now decides to go to Kruger because Max has also learned that they can't kill him. Now Spider puts a tracker on him. Now Max uses the broken drone to send a message to Kruger. Max tells Kruger that you guys will get what you want, but in return you must have to heal me first. Kruger agrees to take Max to Elysium. Max is upset to see Frey and Matilda there in the shuttle. Kruger tells Jessica that Max is with him. After hearing this, she activates Elysium's fly zone. After some time, these people reach the environment of Elysium. Kruger now starts misbehave with Frey, which causes Max to fight with him and the shuttle goes out of control. Meanwhile, the grenade in Max's hand falls down and Kruger's face is badly damaged by the blast. The shuttle then loses its balance and descends and crashes on the ground. First Max puts Matilda in a safe place and then takes Frey down. Now the three start to leave, then Kruger's partner attacks Max from behind. On the other side, Frey takes Matilda to a medical machine. But there is no Elysium's ID on Matilda's wrist, that's why the machine does not treat her. At that moment, Kruger's partner arrives and gives her an electric shock to make her unconscious. Upon regaining consciousness, Max finds himself tied up where Jessica's men are about to download the program from his brain to reboot Elysium, and said to Jessica that this data is connected to neurology. That's why Max will die as soon as the data is extracted. But Jessica doesn't care about this and she tells them to continue it. One of Kruger's men then locks Frey and Matilda in a room together. On the other hand, Kruger's men take him to Medway, where the device scans Kruger's face and heals him within seconds. As he regains consciousness, Kruger asks where Max is, and then Max also understood that he would die after extracting the data, so he freed himself somehow. After a while, Jessica approaches Kruger and starts insulting him because everyone has found out that Elysium is being rebooted. Kruger then becomes enraged and stabs a piece of glass into her throat, because Kruger now wants to control Elysium himself, that is, he wants to become its president. He then locks her up with Frey as well. Now to seize Elysium, Kruger's people kill all the politicians here and Jessica also dies due to bleeding. Max sees on camera that Spider has came with his people. Max contacts them and agrees to make them all citizens of Elysium. Because there's no way Max can survive now, Kruger now restores himself and sends one of his men to kill Frey and Matilda. But that's when Max walks in and starts beating him. Just then, another Kruger guy walks in and starts shooting at Max. Max then hides there and as soon as the man runs out of bullets, Max comes out and shoots him dead. Max then pulls Frey and Matilda out and tells them to go down to Medway. On this, Frey says that it is of no use as Matilda is not a citizen here. Now hearing this, Max says, I have a plan which will work this time. Spider soon arrives there, after which Max sends one of his men to help Frey, while he leaves with Spider. But now Kruger also comes there and fires a high-tech explosion on Spider's man. Its explosion completely destroys his body. Kruger then surrounds them from the front and here the two fight for a long time, in which Kruger injures Max very badly, but here Max does not give up. And the next moment he disconnects Kruger's brain from his exoskeleton. Kruger is then weakened and Max attaches a grenade to his suit. He is about to throw him down, but then Kruger hooks himself with Max. Max somehow separates himself from Kruger and throws him down. Kruger is killed by this grenade explosion. Spider then takes Max to Elysium's computer core and downloads the program from his brain. But then he also realizes that Max will not survive, and Max already knew that. He gives data to Max to reboot Elysium after setting up the program. Max then talks to Frey and says, I promised to bring you to Elysium and I did, but now this is our last meeting. Now Max dies as soon as he runs the program. But now Elysium reboots, and Spider had now made everyone a citizen of Elysium. That's the medical machine treats Matilda. Then a computer from Elysium scans and discovers that the citizens on Earth need a medical facility. So they send the medical facility to Earth and the movie ends there. If you like this video, please subscribe this channel.